Greetings, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I just make these videos just, for myself and to share with others, and I hope that they can be of some help. So I wanted to just talk about a few things AI related, but before I do that, I want to start with spirit related. And so I've been doing a lot of just thinking about purpose, and I've been asking, a few people that I know two questions, so I'll just ask here. One is, what is my purpose? And two, what will I do when all my earthly needs are met with time? So I'll leave those there, and hey, I'd love. If you want to share, you're welcome to share, but there's no need to. I put these videos up. Like I said, they're just kind of to collect my thoughts and hopefully to help others. But let's get into AI. So I've been thinking a lot about this, and I've been doing some planning in the last week or two here. But what I'm starting to realize is, I knew this a long time ago, I can't keep up. But, who was it? What was it? I want to say Reese Witherspoon. I think it was her. Somehow I came across a video just this week where she was talking about AI or something. How if you don't have a lot of time, or I'm paraphrasing, just catch a little bit here and then a little bit here and a little bit there, right? Because then you'll at least kind of follow the flow of the story. So maybe you only get to focus, 15 minutes a week or something, but maybe that's all you can do right now, or maybe that's just what you choose to do. Then it also makes me think of where to direct our attention, given the limited time we have, and so for me, I'm not saying this is a cold hard rule or anything, but just something I was thinking about. Let's say in the past week, if there were three things, that really stood out to me, trying to just condense of all the things that I've looked at with AI and whatnot, what would they be? And I guess this week, this is probably what it would be. It would be Andre Karpathy has joined Anthropic. Number 2 was Thinking Machines demo by Mira Murati and her team. And I thought that was pretty cool. I might talk a little bit more about that. And then number 3, an oldie but goodie, and this is actually very interesting for me. It's a book called The Age of Spiritual Machines, and it's by Ray Kurzweil. And if you follow this channel, then you've probably heard me mention his name a few times. Quite a bit more times have I mentioned his name than I've mentioned, say, Reese Witherspoon. No offense, Reese. Bend and Snap, we love that movie. Anyways. So, yeah. So I guess, so that's that. And, I can go into detail. I don't know if I will on everything, but I think the one thing that I wanted to point out with the Age of Spiritual Machines, this is a book that, I had read Ray Kurzweil's, maybe not cover to cover, but The Singularity is Near, and I was following his work a long time, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago. And I knew that this book existed, The Age of Spiritual Machines, but I just guess I never felt like it was the right time. But something just said, yeah, just go. So I actually drove to Barnes & Noble's, they're still physical bookstores, last night, but the employees, I think, were all coming out. They had the name tags. They were coming out, and I said, oh, is it closed? Yep, closed. All right. So I missed it. I was thinking maybe I'd order a physical copy, but I ended up just going into Gemini and asking, free links to the book. Gemini gave me a few free links, so I actually just, started reading, just a little bit of the intro or the headings or whatnot for free. So I don't know, at what pace or if I'll continue to read this, but I do think a lot about what it means. And I've thought this for a while. What does it mean to? What is a spiritual machine? What does it mean? And then just finally, Thinking Machines had their demo. So if you don't know Thinking Machines, Mira Murati was one of the, close inner circle there at OpenAI, and her and some others had left to go do their own thing. Like Ilya Sutskever, one of the top researchers, he went, found his own thing, and Mira did as well. And for a while, I think people were wondering, like, what is Mira doing? What's she up to? But demo came out. I actually, from what I saw, I really like it, and I'll tell you why. Right off the bat, there's just knowing Mira and having a kind of that woman feminine energy put into something, I think is a plus for sure. But then also, when I saw some of these demos, it basically, they coined it as like an interactive model. So what does that mean? So instead of like now, like we have chatbots and now we have agents, but most of them aren't really aware of like me all the time. They don't really know if I'm coming or going, or what my facial features look like, or or like maybe what I'm looking at, or my excitement, or how I might choose to interact. So it looks like this is a model that is doing or attempting to do those things. That to me is interesting. That's why it was in my top 3 this week. And if I do another, like, maybe I'll do like a top 3 or a top 10 for the month. I don't know. Well, if I do top 3 for the week and top 10, well, no, it could happen. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not, whatever. But, yeah, but an interactive model, I joke, but I don't really joke on this. I say, at some point, these models, they'll be fully autonomous. They'll run. They'll just go. And right now it's maybe our intentions, our slash goals. If I didn't mention slash goal probably would have been, I think that was last week, so that probably would have been top 3. Slash goal, the slash command, slash goal. But I think that's equally important, and or so I hear. If you haven't been following, if you follow this channel, I actually unplugged my systems for a while on purpose. So I may have only tried playing around with slash goal a little bit in Claude Code, which I still have active just to, as I've just kind of been experimenting with a few things. But regardless, I do think that it just made sense, and I think that that's something that we'll be probably coming back to, and something that I would like to incorporate. Now, I guess we'll go on Thinking Machines. So Thinking Machines, so an interactive model, thinking like kind of like at the speed of electricity, or speed of light, or I'm no physicist or whatever, but I'm just thinking out loud here, that to have truly like these systems that just work, I feel like that's that latency gap. Anyways, more I'm sure to come on that in the future. And then then more just like thinking about like, okay, like, well, what do you do? What do you build, right? Things are moving so fast. Like, how do you know what to do? How do you know what not to do? How do you know what to pay attention to? How do you know what not to pay attention to? Should you wait, or should you build now? I don't have answers, but I do. This brings me to another thought on my mind. Well, it's actually, and it's more in the spiritual thinking of things. The word discernment. And, so I was kind of just going back and forth, like thinking about like, okay, so if you want to help, but who do you help? How do you help? Should you help? Should you help everybody? And, I was kind of reminded by, in the Bible, where it seems like Jesus spoke in parables a lot, like kind of like these, I don't know, these like cryptic messages, or they seemed cryptic, but it seemed like, it was like anybody could hear the words, but not everybody might really understand the like the meaning or whatever, you know, he was trying to convey. And so I've been thinking a lot about that, and you know, as we are moving towards more and more abundance, you know, there can be abundance of physical things, you know, but then I'm also being challenged to, you know, like don't store up all, you know, like don't be greedy, don't store up, you know, wealth. You know, what does it mean to be a good steward? And what does it mean to to like, you know, store up your treasures in heaven, to quite literally surrender, right? I mean, there's a song, I surrender all, you know, and I think surrender is probably a very hard thing to grasp or to do for most of us humans, because it's like giving up control. It's giving up everything that you think you own or you know. You know, but in the Bible, Jesus talks about, you know, he talks about, you know, that the rich man, like it'll be harder for a rich man to get into heaven. Again, a parable. And you know, I don't know, is he talking about like actual making money and like you're supposed to give away it all, or is it the spirit of it? Is it the spirit of attachment, the spirit of wanting, the spirit of needing, the spirit of loving money, right? For the love of money is the root of all evil. So, you know, I just throw this stuff out there, just stuff that kind of I've been thinking about and, you know, reflecting. And oh wow, we got a really nice, you can't see it, but we got a really nice, actually, let's turn it around. I don't know if you can see that. Beautiful sunset. You know, I don't even know how that works. Pink sunset, but, or whatever it is, pink and blue. Anyways, that's a wrap. And I hope you have a wonderfully blessed day full of wisdom and discernment. And go forth. Go forth. All right. See you later. Peace.